Hey, this is Buddha Ninja, and we're going to talk about the Dark Eagle missile. And let's pull it up right here. Here we go. So the Dark Eagle is one of the new missiles that were on the Battle Pass, and I didn't have big expectations for it. Now, I have to say it's one of my favorite missiles. So let's go over the stats real quick. We got the target type, surface. Ignores decoys, no. Underwater launch, no. Control type, manual, of course. Damage per minute, 539 for 28. Burst damage, 800 or 80,000. Damage, 78,000. So I don't know where it's getting the extra 2,000 from the burst unless it's coming from explosion radius, but that wouldn't make sense either because that's 133. So somehow, anyway, let's not worry about it. Target acquisition time is 1 second. That's pretty good. It's not the best in the game. There's a half-second one. So, but it is one of the best. So, area damage 1,000, explosion radius 133, cloud altitude is high. That's good for AA. Range 13, rounds per attack 2, but it's really just 1 because it's times 2 on here. Initial speed is 194. Acceleration time 3.17. Durability 300, which that's really good. You get 18 per slot, and your fire penalty is 40%. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's compare it with a couple other good missiles. So how about the Thada and this nuke? So let's compare these. Make sure everything's upgraded, which, yeah, I use all three, so they'll be upgraded. Okay, so damage per minute, we're doing it on the Dark Eagle. Burst damage is Thada. Reload time, almost 9 seconds for the Dark Eagle, 8.75. Thada's almost 10 seconds with 9.45. And the nuke, 7.7. So definitely good for the nuke. Acquisition time, 1 second, as we talked about for the Dark Eagle. 2.5 for the Thada, and 2 seconds for the nuke. So that's a big deal. Detonation radius, 33, and none for Thada. Area damage is 1,000, which the nuke is 1,500. So we're not doing bad with the Dark Eagle. The explosion radius is 333 on that. Flight altitude. This is where the Dark Eagle excels. Rounds per attack, they're all 1. Range, get speed a little bit there. Initial speed is way better with the Dark Eagle. So that's just showing you Dark Eagle's winning in a lot of slots. So how about consistency? So I'm going to show you some of my past battles where I have been using it. So let's go right here. Let's go to stats. Okay. So Dark Eagle, 12 out of 12 landed. Where the Mako, 8 out of 14, which is good for the Mako. That's great. So, do you kind of see what the theme of this party is going to be? We're at 100% there. All right. Yatamato, I doubt I used it there. So let's check, see if I used it on this boat. Yes, I did. And the Dark Eagle landed 67%. Look at the Mako, which is the most consistent missile in the game right now. And it landed at 59%. So the Dark Eagle's even outperforming the Mako. Alright, let's check another battle. Let's see what I used on this one. And again, the Dark Eagle, 62%, 600,000 damage. Mako on this one decided to pull through and got 80%. But look at the damage. We only landed 15 of the Dark Eagles. Right? And they're both on 2 times slots. So, alright, let's check one more. Or we might check out 2 more. Let's see. This one, 50%. Mako only was landing 30% in this battle. So do you see what I'm talking about here? That Dark Eagle seems to want to land. There's something about it. Ooh, here's the Dark Eagle against the Theta. They both landed the same amount, but the Theta out-damaged it. So, let's see if we have any more head-to-heads. That was kind of interesting. Ooh, against the Nuke, Dark Eagle out-damaged it. Landed 12 out of 22 for 55%. Against the Nuke's 8 for 22, 36%. So, alright. So, pretty much the Dark Eagle is doing its job here again. 58% against the Mako's 53%. Let's see if we see any more here. I think that's the one we just saw. I'm not sure how many times I've used it. Oh, here we go again. Ooh, this time the Nuke did do a little bit better, but those 9 did the same amount of damage, or did about the same amount of damage. So even with 4 more nukes landing, the Dark Eagle still did better. So let's see if there's any more. Theta against the Dark Eagle. But the Theta just lands that damage, and that's what's nice. So I've been doing that with this Shiloh, is using the HIMARS grenade launcher as my bait missile, trying to get them to flare. And then I'll go ahead and launch the Theta and the Dark Eagle. And that's what's landing, is the Dark Eagle's landing. The Dark Eagle seems to want to get through. So my advice, if you're going to do this power build, is go ahead and use the Dark Eagle, launch that before the Theta. The Theta's faster, so. But that's my advice. In case you want to see any other stats, I'm using the Crusader, Sea Comanche. Using the Sea Wolf. I just love the Sea Wolf. I'll probably do a video on it at some time with my Alka. Alright guys, so I didn't use it in any gameplay, but I did want to at least talk about it and let you guys understand what my thoughts about it are. I believe the Dark Eagle is going to end up to be one of the better missiles in the game. Theta 2, if you land it, it's going to hurt. Even if you don't land it as much, it's still going to out-damage a lot of stuff. So, and with the Nuke, it's just firing sideways anyway. So it's, it's hard to use that sometimes. Anyway, I hope you find this video helpful, and we'll be putting out a lot more. So have a great day. Enjoy your life, and we'll see you soon.